Hello everyone. Hello my friends. It's Monica, Sleeped After 60, and it's Sunday the 12th of March of 2017. I keep forgetting what year it is still. And it's 2 days before my VSG, which finally it's here. It's almost been a year and it's finally here. It's hard to believe that it's finally going to be here. And quick stats, because it's been such a long time that I've been kind of talking about this. I'm not sure whether I've ever really given you my high and all that. As far as you know, I just went back and sort of looked at some old paperwork just to get sort of my high weight. And in June of 2015, which is kind of when I retired and I decided to go to Weight Watchers for the 100th time, I had a weight of 240 pounds. And I am under 5'5". I used to be 5'5" before I shrunk. So that's June of 2015. I'm going to call my pre-surgery date, pre-surgery weight, when I started at the University of Minnesota, which was in November at 224. As you know, I started someplace else, and we had all that, the surgeon leaving and all that stuff. And it kind of went up and down when they found out I had some other issues, that H. pylori, and it got treated and it went down to like 229 or whatever. But I'm just going to call that because that's where the paperwork started. So November 224. And I usually weigh on Fridays, but I'm going to change to Tuesdays since that's going to be my surgery. And after a couple of weeks, I think it might have been 2 or 3, I used that that app, and I was 201.2 on last Friday. So that was like a couple of days ago. Today I started, although I didn't have to do a pre-diet, as you all know, all I had to do was lose 10 pounds. But I went on to the weight management part of the university, of the bariatric clinic, and I went on a medication and I was able to lose like almost 23 pounds. But as far as right before surgery, I'm doing a bowel prep. Good God. And it started today, and you have to drink this bowel, it's like a magnesium, it's not milk of magnesium. I was confused about that. It's not that, it's this other prep lemon lime thing. But I think I might get on Tuesday, I might be in, whenever I used to hear it, people talk about it, I always thought it was Wonderland. I didn't know that it was Wonderland. I thought it was the W. So I don't know, maybe I'll be in Wonderland by Tuesday. I don't want to get too excited and all that stuff. But anyhow, so now to other things. Some of you who follow me on Instagram might know that I got married after dating my sweetie for 22 years, being engaged and what do you know? Not all of a sudden, but now my engagement ring is way too big and my wedding band is way too big. So even though, that was kind of, I don't want to say a last minute thing because it wasn't a last minute thing, but so we've dated for 22 years. We've been engaged for 16, and we've been nesting for 2 since I retired. He's a little bit older than I am, and he's been waiting for me because he's been retired for a while. So some of you all of you were so sweet to send me private messages and all that. Why, after all these years, did we decided? We've talked about getting married, especially as we're getting older. but I keep talking about what are you making room for, and one of the things that I made room for was a big change in my life. And is it different? Yeah, being married is different. So I think it's a topic, I'm going to stop here because I think it's a topic that it takes a lot more talking about than just sort of, in a minute that I have talking about it. It's a huge difference in thinking about it. And, whenever I talk about what are you making room for, and people talk about health and all that stuff, when you have an eating disorder, as most of us do, I think that we do put roadblocks in front of us. And I think that recovery does bring on other avenues, whether it's about opening up your heart to love, or opening your heart to commitment, or opening, your heart to a different job or opportunity or whatever. Something to think about, and perhaps, not perhaps, I will talk about that in the future, because I think that it's worth discussing in a different forum, in a different way. But I'm married, and believe me, it's something to talk about. So, and also to talk about is the whole idea of perfection. And for me, and I know that for a lot of us who have eating disorders, and who are disordered eating, and who have issues with our relationship with food, have issues with perfection. And at least I know, hey, listen, no makeup, just lipstick, because of course, I get up and I put lipstick on. But, and, this wedding was a total experience and not perfection. And I wore something from my closet, believe it or not. So that's worth also talking about, and how I got there. Perfection is something that I've had to fight my whole life. So as I say that, I am in the midst of trying to be ready for Tuesday, as I cleaned the oven and gave my dog a bath. And my husband and I, because we just got married, we're still doing taxes separately, and I do my own. He has an accountant and all that. So today I was just trying, to get all that done, because of course I know nothing's going to happen, but God forbid something should happen. I want to make sure that my taxes are done, and that, the beauty giveaway winners, their boxes were sent, and laundry and all that stuff. And that this is, I taped from my guest room, and my son was here for the weekend. So of course I wanted to make sure that everything is, back to normal, and all that stuff. So being in recovery is being in recovery, but you can still sort of hang on to some things that lower my stress. And I know that if things are in order, in some kind of order, that makes me feel better and feel calmer, and all of that. And some notes that I needed to send out to people that are important to me needed to be done, and and all of that. So what I want to make sure that I talk about today, in addition to how I'm feeling good about my recovery, and it's a long way in coming. And one of the things that I've noticed, because I got a chance the last couple of days to watch some some of your videos, and I noticed that, of course, as always, there's always a lot of suffering that we're all doing in our journey, because I think that's part of our eating disorder. And I don't mean to be disrespectful of anybody. If you don't see your struggle, if you don't see what your experience is as an eating disorder, I apologize. Those are my words, and I don't know. I have to clear liquids today and tomorrow. God, oh. So I apologize for me using that. It's not a diagnosis. I guess it sounds like a diagnosis. It's not a judgment. But, I think that what's really hard in our experience is comparison. And I think that foodie turns sleevey. You know who you are. Really did a really good job of talking about how, hey, we all come here. That's kind of what we do. We say, oh, are you having that experience? So am I. What the heck? Somebody's just trying to get a hold of me. And I think she did a really nice job of explaining that, because I think we do. That's kind of why we're here, and I think that's that's the community of it. But I think that it is difficult not to, and we do it because, of course, I'm looking out at my my sisters, my surgery sisters, and Andy is a day before me, and Brianna is a week ahead of me, and I'm looking at, there's a young man whose name escapes me now, who's in Tijuana right now, who just had it on Friday, so he's going to be around, a few days. Yet, how interesting, because I would never, I have some notes down. I would never compare myself to a young 20-some-year-old young man, and say, oh, how many pounds did you lose? No. Probably Brianna. I would never compare myself to her. She's 20-some years old also. And yet, I think of people and I look at their height and I go, oh. And then I go, well, that's silly, because, just because somebody is 5'5", their lives are different, and I'm retired. I would never look at their lifestyle and say I should be in the same place that they are. So why do we do this to ourselves? Is a really good thing to look at. I mean, why? Why do we do this? And how do we, as a community, help ourselves to just bring each other along and give each other a lot of support without comparing ourselves? We can't do it for somebody else, but how do I do it? How do I message? How do I not do that? How do I look at myself and go, it's great, but it's not going to be me? Because I know that for a fact right now. I know that. I'm almost 64. I'm almost 5'5", 200 pounds, and I'm not going to lose the way somebody else loses, because I'm not. So, words to think by. Everyone, have a wonderful week. Guys have made this an incredible experience for me. Thank you so much. I know you're all going to be thinking about me, and I will be thinking about you. Besos.